Hi guys, Demonic Angel. Today I am doing number 2 of the Kitchen Witchcraft series. Sorry, I just have, some allergies again. But yeah, this is basically a show where I talk about alternative medicines and different uses for herbs and spices that you cook with, how they could be used for little jars for magic, and the different kinds of spices spirits like as well. So we'll go over a whole range. But so today, you guys have probably heard me talk about apple cider vinegar with the mother a little too much, but so here's just, let's get it out of the way. I'm sure I'll reference it, but so the reason that I'm going to just, talk about this one is this is a very grounding and cleansing drink. I guess I'll start with a little story, honestly. When I was attending college in person in my 20s, I was studying anthropology. So one day the professor took us to a museum where they had preserved a lot of dead people. They're like abnormal problems, like a very, very enlarged bladder or something, and the person donated their body to science, so we were looking at that. But this guy he wanted us to know, so he shows us this guy who had recently died, and he was like 500 pounds. And, some other person comes up and says, he has been eating fast food 3 meals a day for the last 30 years. And he had a heart attack, and now he's here. But he was like, lucky for us, his family donated his body to science. So then I'll just start looking at the body, and like nobody is really saying anything, and the professor's just kind of laughing. And I basically, in my mind, I was assuming, okay, well, I guess they've already embalmed him, so they're gonna conduct their experiments, they're cut him open, and that kind of stuff. Lo and behold, this guy had not been embalmed yet, and there was just something where they didn't get to him, so he was there, a day late kind of a thing. And he did not actually, he smelled like he was decomposing, but not that bad. Not, and people were like, well, what do you mean he's not embalmed? Like, shouldn't he stink more? And the guy was like, well, kids, you know how people are always, taking McDonald's burgers and they leave them outside and they don't decompose? That's because they're full of so many preservatives that we put in dead people while we embalm them. So essentially, this guy ate so much fast food that it slightly embalmed him. He decomposed at a slightly slower rate. That was like absolutely fascinating for me and disgusting at the same time. But it's just like, why? Why did this guy need to eat like that? I mean, he probably didn't really understand how bad. Now we kind of do, more so today, have a better understanding. Oh, but I was like, that's horrifying. I like fast food, I like junk food sometimes, but a majority of the time I'm going to make some healthier meals. And even from the store, there's still whatever chemicals from the store, but it's much less better. I mean, that is not right if a cheeseburger won't decompose, and if people who eat those many cheeseburgers takes them a little bit longer to decompose. Oh, ew. Okay, so that's my little lead-in story of why. So like, you know, there's a lot of chemical waste when your body tries to digest these preservatives. It gives you inflammation and all these things. So, as you guys have seen in my workings with President Marbus, I draw his sigil on the bottom of my apple cider vinegar. So, I'll show it again. Okay, whoops. Like, I am the worst drawer. It looks like a stick figure with like a couple random wings. But that's not the point. This is the sigil of Marbus. So when I open a new bottle, or before I open a new bottle, I draw the sigil of Marbus on it and say some prayers and thoughts about being healthy, right? So this stuff is, whoops, we got Bragg's organic apple cider vinegar with the mother. You don't have to get Bragg's, but you want to get the one that says with the mother. That's that brown strain in here that is fibrous and contains prebiotics and probiotics. Also, get one that isn't, it's glass, because plastic, if it allows for exposure from the sun, which can really damage the pre and probiotics and that kind of thing. So, but I like this brand. It's the best. I drink it a few times a day. And, this is my thing with Marbus. So, essentially, why am I advocating this kind of stuff? Apple cider vinegar has been used as medicine since Hippocrates. Hippocrates, the father of Western medicine, treated his patients with apple cider vinegar. So, doctors take a Hippocratic oath. Well, that man back in ancient times, he knew this was good medicine. So, and then I'll try and, hear me explain science, right? But, as you age, your stomach loses acid and you become more and more alkaline. And then your body it has a hard time digesting protein, vitamins and minerals, but really having those things be available to you, and then as you age, because of alkalosis or a pH problem, you get neuritis or arthritis and these autoimmune types of pain that are calcium buildup in the soft tissue. So kidney stones, gallbladder stones, that kind of stuff starts to develop around middle age. You need additional acid in order to function. Apple cider does not have a lot of vitamins and minerals. That's not what it is. Or it doesn't have potassium. It just has prebiotics and probiotics and acetic acid. And that, essentially the acetic acid, it is the same pH as the acid in your stomach. So you drink this, you're replacing the acid in your stomach that you lose in your urine. You lose stomach acid in your urine. And a lot of that also is when we as people, we get stressed, we have their fight and flight responses, or even just stress, and it raises the adrenaline. Adrenaline and cortisol flush acid out of your stomach through your urine, because those that's what happens when those chemicals are released in in high amounts. So I'm not talking about a person having one stressful day, but stress, continuous days of stress, and the body can't. It just releases too much of it, and that makes you lose acid in your urine. If you get a little bit of adrenaline or whatever in your urine, it's not really going to affect you that much, but a lot of it does. So then you become alkaline because you're urinating your acid. When you eat and you feel like you got heartburn, it's because the valve won't close. It's not that it's too much acid, it's that it's not enough, and the food is coming back up because you should be able to digest it, but the stomach is having a hard time because it has not enough acid, so you get heartburn. So if you drink a little apple cider, it will close that little valve pretty good. You should feel better right away. All kinds of different good stuffs with this, like people could treat simple UTIs. If it doesn't get better, go to the doctor. But there's a lot of different things that you can do. That you can use it in a foot soak. You could put it in your hair. I just drink it, so this is the best way to give it to my entire body. And it really, once you get your pH in order and you get your acid right, then you get your energies right, because if your chakras aren't really lined up too good, because they've been blocked, because having alkalosis is like being sick, then you have a lot of health problems that follow. Tartar on your teeth because it's calcium buildup, and you could take calcium supplements, you can take vitamin and mineral supplements, but it won't matter because it won't be available to you in your body until the calcium is not plugged up from. You drink a little apple cider, mobilize the calcium so it can go through the body, and you'll feel much better. Now, I also used apple cider vinegar when I was getting sober, and I think that it was really the key to my success. It just, I craved it. I mean, I still drink it, And if you're recovering from addiction, or you're not, try this apple cider stuff. Let me know how it works out for you. It's a really grounding way to be. If you're having fights with your family, if your house is haunted, if you think you're getting attacked by astral vampires, or anything that is going to drain your energy, this apple cider will give your stomach, and your stomach is your second brain, the juice that it needs to keep you grounded. And the more grounded you are, the harder it is for the living, dead, everybody else to feed off of your energy. So it's a really amazing grounding drink. And I just talked about what I think about it on episode 2 of Kitchen Witchcraft. Thank you.